The story opens with Loak connecting to Eywa. In a dream, he and Neteyam are flying on Ikran through the vast horizons of Pandora, challenging each other and having fun. As they land, and just as Loak is about to wake, Neteyam asks how he died. Loak recounts the entire story, confessing that he was shot and believing it was his fault. Neteyam assures him it wasn't his fault and hugs his brother. Loak wakes up, filled with guilt over Neteyam's lost life. Meanwhile, on the shores, Kiri and Spider sit together. Spider wishes he could connect to Eywa. Neytiri continues to grieve deeply for Neteyam, while Jake goes silent, burying himself in work to avoid his dark thoughts. He gathers guns from the sunken RDA ship. Loak and Soraya also dive to retrieve weapons from the wreck. When they return with the guns and ammunition, the Metkayina people are surprised. Tonowari tells Jake that this is not the Na'vi way. Rono insists that Jake should be with his wife during this time, stating that the Great Mother Eywa will provide for them, not these machines. Jake explains that the Sky People will return with even more ships, and they cannot survive with just spears and arrows. He declares he will never be Toruk Makto again, but is determined to take revenge. Elsewhere, Quaritch and his squad continue searching for the Na'vi. Quaritch asks the commander, Ardmore, for a ship, but she refuses, noting that he left the last one at the bottom of the ocean. Back at the village, Loak believes he's the one disrupting the family, but notes that they don't talk about it. Jake gives Neytiri a modified bow so she doesn't have to use her own, but Neytiri is disturbed. She doesn't feel Jake's reliance on weapons is right. She asks where Eywa was when their son was killed. Neytiri cries that she is not in her forest, her father's bow was lost, and now she only has faith in Eywa. Jake comforts her, promising he loves her until the end. Loak introduces Spider and the others to Payakan, who is now part of the Tolkon pods again. As they swim, Spider's mask malfunctions. While the others search for a spare mask, Loak finds one, allowing Spider to breathe again. Neytiri still keeps her distance from Spider. Horns blow as Soraya arrives to announce the arrival of the Wind Traders. They all go to see large flying objects arriving with supplies for the Metkayina. Jake and Neytiri decide that Spider must go back to the Sky People because he wouldn't survive another mask malfunction. Spider and the children beg for him to stay, arguing he is part of the family, but Jake insists it is too dangerous. The children oppose their parents, so Jake and Neytiri come up with a compromise. The whole family will escort Spider to drop him off, making it an adventure. The leader of the traders, Palak, is unhappy because Jake has already attracted trouble, but Jake assures him he will protect them with the guns. As the ships depart, Loak, Kiri, and Spider wave goodbye to the villagers. During the journey, Loak senses Neteyam riding his Ikran alongside him. At the RDA base, Quaritch receives intel about flying objects nearby with Jake and his children on board. As the traders pass through a narrow passage, Spider's mask issues a warning about remaining battery time. Suddenly, Neytiri spots an alarm. The Ash People, the Manquan clan, are approaching. A battle ensues. The traders try to attack the invaders. Loak grabs his gun, but realizes he forgot his handheld radio. He tries to retrieve it, but it is destroyed in a fire. Disobeying Jake's orders, Loak engages the Ash People. His Ikran is hit by an arrow and he falls, barely surviving. On the ship, everyone tries to extinguish the fires. An Ash warrior tries to kill Kiri and Tuck, but Spider saves them with a bow and arrow. Jake fights the Ash People. Their leader, Varung, sees him and attacks with a firebomb, causing a massive explosion on the ship. Jake slides down, barely holding on to a rope.
Neytiri engages in a brutal fight with Varung. She is hit by an arrow, but continues fighting fiercely until the balloon on top of the ship catches fire. Kiri, Spider, and Tuck escape on an Ikran. Jake's Ikran saves him, but Neytiri is hit again and falls into the dense forest. The trader ship collapses and shatters. Kiri and the others are hit and also crash into the forest. Spider tells Loak he left his backup mask batteries on the ship. As they move, they see the Ash People assaulting their own kind. Loak hesitates to shoot Varung, but he is spotted. A chase begins through the forest. Loak eventually pulls the trigger, killing the pursuers. Varung later notices the bullet marks on her soldiers' bodies. Quaritch arrives on the scene. The Ash People chase Kiri and the others to a stream. They jump in, but the current is strong. Meanwhile, Jake searches the wreckage for Neytiri among the dead. Neytiri's Ikran wakes up upon hearing Jake's voice, and she is found alive. Loak and the group reach ashore. Spider's battery is at 3%, and they have no way to contact Jake. Loak decides to return to the destroyed ship. Suddenly, Jake is surrounded and attacked by Quaritch. Jake is shocked to see him alive. Neytiri manages to get on her Ikran and fly. Quaritch finds Spider's spare mask and realizes the children are in danger. Jake, realizing he has no time, tells Quaritch the kids are in danger from the Ash People. Quaritch demands Jake lead the way. Spider collapses, unable to breathe as his battery dies. Kiri zones out and sees a creature. She instructs Loak to place Spider on the roots and shoves a piece of the creature into Spider's mouth. The roots illuminate and crawl into Spider's body. Kiri uses her powers and the Great Mother's energy to encase Spider in a web of roots. This takes a toll on Kiri's body. Loak eventually severs the roots. They think Spider is dead, but his finger moves. Spider wakes up, able to breathe Pandora's air without a mask. He is overjoyed to be like the Na'vi. Suddenly, Ash people surround them. Varang is surprised to see a human with a machine gun. Just as Varang is about to slit Spider's throat, Quaritch frees Jake, gives him a knife, and sneaks behind them. Varang asks Loak how the gun works. When he refuses to speak, Jake attacks. Quaritch captures Varang. However, as they try to leave, Varang grabs Quaritch's tail and crushes his Tselu, the neural cube, causing immense pain. They are recaptured. Varang asks Quaritch again to demonstrate the guns. He teaches her, and she is impressed, stating she doesn't need him anymore. Neytiri arrives where she was taken for treatment. The Ash people rejoice and dance, while Jake and the others are tied up. Kiri uses her powers to connect to roots, causing a giant spiky flower to attack the guards. Loak grabs a knife while the Ash people are distracted dancing. Jake, Quaritch, and the group travel through the water and dense forest. While they rest, Jake tries to tell Quaritch that this world is beyond imagination, using Spider and Kiri as proof. Quaritch insists he remembers who he works for, even in a new body. The next day, Na'vi people approach. It turns out to be their own allies. Quaritch runs away. Neytiri is relieved to see the family safe, though the Na'vi are shocked to see Spider breathing without a mask. Quaritch returns to the city, Bridgehead. He tells the scientists to find the boy, Spider, believing he is key to humans living on Pandora without masks. Dr. Norm tells Jake that Mycelia took over Spider's body, changing him at a cellular level. He has even grown a Tselu. Later, Kiri goes to the spirit tree. She confronts the Great Mother, asking why she didn't save Spider, claiming she had to do it herself. A bright light appears, and Kiri has a seizure. Jake and Neytiri decide to tell Kiri the truth. She has no father. When Grace was pregnant, Norm did a test revealing a pathogenic birth identical to the Avatar. She learns it was the Great Mother's will. A seed was planted, making her the daughter of Eywa. Norm warns Kiri to stop connecting to the Great Mother underwater or she will die. Neytiri suggests killing Spider if he is too dangerous, but Jake refuses, determined to save him. Meanwhile, Mike and Ian continue hunting Tulkuns for Amrit. Back at the Metka'ina village, Tanawari discusses the hunting. Neytiri is now able to use a bow despite her injuries. Rono questions how Kiri can do things even Tasai cannot. The council decides to exile Payakan for breaking Tulkun rules, killing people on the ship. He must be sent far away. Payakan leaves, saying he will not hear his song again. Loak tries to defend Payakan, claiming he is a warrior who saved lives, but no one listens. Jake drags Loak away. In the heat of the moment, Jake blames Loak's disobedience for Neteyam's death. Loak is devastated and leaves.
Neytiri tells Jake to speak to him, but Jake says he has no words. Neytiri admits she would kill Spider to save her family. Jake tells her to stop hating. She says she hates their minds. Jake counters that he is human inside, so she must hate him too, and that her children make mistakes because they are human inside. Neytiri leaves. Later, Jake comforts her, admitting he spoke in anger. Loak sits alone with a gun, contemplating violence, but stops. Kiri and Soraya comfort him, telling him they need him. Loak and Soraya build a new bow. Kiri teaches Spider how to connect with animals. Quaritch attacks other Na'vi clans to find Spider. He eventually approaches the Ash people again with a bag of guns. He is captured and taken to Varang. He offers her unlimited weapons. To impress her, he signals a sniper to kill a man. Varang takes him to a hut filled with dark magical objects. She blows a powder into his nose, causing hallucinations. Varang reveals her backstory. A fire burned their forest and took everything. Her people starved, and Eywa did not come. She learned fire magic and declares she is now the fire herself. She calls Eywa a weak mother of weak children. Quaritch tells her that humans are here to help her and offers equals, weapons to spread her fire and kill Eywa. They form an alliance. Tulkuns arrive to bond with Eywa. Neytiri practices tirelessly. Soraya tells Loak that her spirit sister heard Payakan's faint song heading toward his birth clan. Loak gifts Neytiri the repaired bow. He then leaves to find Payakan.
Tonowari stops Jake from chasing him, saying Loak has the strength of his ancestors. Loak travels through high waves, believing Payakan is returning to his original home. Meanwhile, Spider wonders if Neytiri would love him if he were blue. Kiri kisses him, saying he is perfect. Suddenly, Ash people surround them. Spider hides Kiri and surrenders himself to save her. He is caught by Quaritch. Kiri watches them leave. The Sky people arrive with a massive fleet. Kiri tells Jake that they took Spider. Quaritch hands Spider over to the soldiers and heads to the Na'vi village. Quaritch and Varang reach the shore. Jake orders Neytiri to take the children and leave, but she refuses. Quaritch threatens to burn the village. Jake offers himself in exchange for the village's safety. Quaritch agrees, taking Jake and leaving the villagers unharmed. Quaritch and Varang return to Bridgehead City. The commander orders the death of all Na'vi, but she cannot kill them yet as they have leverage. Jake and Spider are imprisoned. Scientists test Spider, who is desperate to escape. Loak finds Payakan, who reveals his clan has only one wounded survivor left. Loak is attacked by a swarm of Akula. He hides in a tight space, fighting them off with a spear. Just as he is about to die, a Tulkun arrives and saves him. Soraya and the others rescue him. At the base, Quaritch visits Spider, thanking him for saving his life at the shipwreck. He gives a speech about Spider having lion's guts and gives him his dog tags or chain before leaving. The commander and Mike plan a mass attack on the Tulkun gathering. Ian tries to stop them but fails. Jake is displayed in a glass cage. Quaritch visits him, but Jake tells him to let go, that the real Quaritch is dead, and encourages him to experience the world. Neytiri accepts the weapons made by Jake. Spider manages to open a ventilation door. Neytiri ambushes 2 Ash soldiers, steals their clothes, and infiltrates the city. Ian enters a machine, likely a mech or crane, to sabotage the operation. Neytiri attacks Varang, demanding to know where Jake is. Varang escapes, and Quaritch attacks Neytiri. She escapes on her Ikran and shoots a bomb into a plant, causing a massive explosion throughout the city. Chaos erupts. Neytiri uses the distraction to operate a large machine, breaking Jake's glass chamber. Soldiers open fire, but Ian uses his machine to shield Jake. Spider runs toward them. Ian guides Jake to an escape route, warning him about the plan to kill the Tulkuns in 2 days. As they flee, a missile is fired at them. Spider stands in front of it, forcing the officials to abort the shot. Jake and Spider run, while Quaritch moves towards Spider's location.
As the officer prepares to fire, Neytiri arrives just in time, shooting the craft and rescuing both Spider and Jake. They flee the city on their Ikran. Mid-flight, Jake orders them to land. While Spider washes up nearby, Jake tells Neytiri that she was right. Quaritch will never stop hunting Spider. He believes the humans will study Spider to learn how to breathe and live on Pandora, eventually destroying it just as they did Earth. Jake makes a heartbreaking decision. He takes Neytiri's knife, believing this is the only way to save the planet. He calls Spider and leads him into the deep bushes. Neytiri, realizing what he intends to do, protests, but Jake forces Spider to his knees and begins a prayer to Eywa. Spider begs him to stop. Jake hesitates, unable to bring himself to kill the boy. Suddenly, Neytiri rushes forward, unable to bear it either. Instead of killing him, Jake hugs Spider, while Neytiri tells him, "I see you." Jake, relieved, declares they will find another way. To find that solution, Jake enters a cave and seeks out the legendary predator, Toruk. He successfully bonds with the beast, becoming Toruk Makto once again. He flies to the Metkaina village, where Tonowari and his people bow in reverence. Jake orders Tonowari to signal all clans that the day of battle has come. As Toruk Makto, Jake unites the clans against their common enemy, regaining the trust of the people. However, they know they need the Tulkuns to fight. The elders refuse, citing that Payakan is an outcast. Loak, Sireya, and Anung step forward, declaring that if Payakan is out, they are out too. The elders allow them to speak. Loak reveals Payakan's tragic history and introduces Payakan's sister, who survived an attack by the Sky People. She shares her memories, revealing that the rest of their clan was slaughtered and she is the sole survivor. She urges them to fight as Payakan does. The elders leave to deliberate. Meanwhile, the commander grounds Quaritch, forbidding him from joining the mission. Kiri meets with Ronal, hinting at a destiny she must fulfill. Jake gives Loak the responsibility of watching over his family and his brother's spirit when he is gone. Thousands of RDA ships march to hunt the Tulkuns. On the other side, Toruk Makto and the united clans prepare for war. Mick Scoresby and the whaling fleet approach with vast numbers of submarines and boats. As they draw near, Mick notices there are no females present.
Suddenly, a warning is issued. A massive pod of Tolkuns arrives, led by the matriarch. They dive deep and then surge upward, smashing into the ships with incredible speed. The elders have decided to fight. Chaos erupts. The Tolkuns destroy the ships one by one. The Na'vi clans attack from the air and water. Toruk Makto decimates ships single-handedly. Tonawari and Payakan dominate the underwater battle, while Ronal fights fiercely with her spear. Jake and Neytiri take down flying gunships. The tide turns when Varang and her Ash people arrive alongside Quaritch, who has disobeyed orders. They unleash a barrage of gunfire and firebombs. The skies fill with fire, and the Ash people begin to overpower the Na'vi. Seeing the devastation, Kiri decides she must go to the Great Mother. She leaves with Spider, leaving Took behind. Loak and Payakan try to defend Kiri's path, taking down Sky People with the help of Soraya and her brother. Kiri connects to the spirit tree, but is violently pushed back and suffers seizures. Spider connects to her, grounding her, and helps her move through the roots deep underwater. Took arrives to help them move forward. Above, Neytiri engages in a brutal duel with Varang. As Kiri reaches the Great Mother, she begs for help to save her dying people. Suddenly, a bomb hits the area. The connection is severed, and the spirit tree sinks. Neytiri is hit by a fireball from Varang. Underwater, Ronal is shot, and a missile hits Payakan, who appears to be killed. Quaritch commands his troops to focus fire on Jake. A bomb blast knocks Jake and Toruk into the water. Spider manages to save Took, but Kiri remains submerged. The injured heroes gather on the shore, on the verge of defeat. Ronal reveals she is dying, but is about to give birth. Loak saves the injured Jake. Spider dives back in and confirms Kiri is alive and breathing underwater. With Neytiri's help, Ronal gives birth to a baby girl. With her dying breath, Ronal asks Neytiri to protect the child, then passes away. Jake praises Loak for his bravery in bringing the Tolkuns to the fight. Suddenly, Quaritch and Varang arrive. They have captured Took. Quaritch contacts Jake via comms, demanding he brings Spider in exchange for his family. Jake tells Loak he needs him to be his wingman. Mick Scoresby and his fleet prepare to harvest Amrita, using sound beams to deafen and torture the Tolkuns. Hundreds of ships surround the whales, torpedoes locked. Just as they are about to fire, the spirit tree illuminates. Eywa has heard Kiri's prayer. Hundreds of Ilu surround the ships. Kiri orders them to kill the Sky People. The sea creatures attack, destroying boats and dragging soldiers into the depths. Toruk regains his strength and lets out a call, summoning hundreds of wild Ikrons to attack the Ash People. Toruk destroys a massive ship. The Tolkun that Mick Scoresby previously blinded attacks Mick's boat, dragging him into the water to his death. The commander orders all ships to be abandoned. Jake and Loak board the flagship to save Neytiri and Took. Spider and Kiri follow. Jake sees Varang and Quaritch on the deck and orders Loak to provide cover fire. Spider radios Quaritch, begging him not to kill anyone, saying he is coming. Spider walks slowly towards Quaritch, who promises they can go home. But as they prepare to leave, Jake attacks the Ash soldiers. Loak covers him, killing the guards around Varang. Varang attacks Neytiri and is about to kill her when Kiri arrives. Kiri uses her queue or tail to control Varang. Terrified by Kiri's power, Varang flees. Quaritch grabs Spider and takes off on an Ikron. Jake mounts Toruk and pursues them. Jake dives and attacks Quaritch mid-air. Spider jumps from Quaritch's mount to Jake's mount. Quaritch is knocked down. All metallic objects suddenly begin to be pulled towards a highly magnetic portal or anomaly, destroying the surrounding machinery. Jake and Spider are trapped in the magnetic field. Jake falls, injured. Quaritch approaches to finish him off, but Spider intervenes, shooting an arrow into Quaritch's arm. A brutal fight ensues between Jake and Quaritch on floating rocks, both trading heavy blows. Spider tries to reload his bow, but is knocked down. He slips and falls, but Quaritch jumps and catches his hand, holding onto a root with the other. Jake reaches down to help. Because Quaritch's arm is injured, he struggles to lift Spider. Jake pulls up the root, hauling both of them to safety. For a moment, there is an awkward silence between the enemies. Neytiri, Loak, and Kiri arrive. Jake signals them to stop. Quaritch, clinging to his own twisted sense of honor and self-respect, looks at them, then lets go. He falls into the fire and the magnetic void, killing himself. Spider is left saddened by his death. The Suli family embraces, reunited and safe. Later, the clans gathered to connect with the Great Mother. Tonawari connects his newborn daughter to Eywa. Payakan is revealed to be alive, his voice is heard, and he is fully accepted back into the clan. Spider connects to the spirit tree with Kiri. He sees the Great Mother and is accepted by the Na'vi people as one of their own. In the vision, he sees Netayam and Grace, Kiri's mother. Kiri tells him that Netayam's spirit is with Eywa forever. Everyone sees the loved ones they lost in the war and finds peace. The clans are united as one. End of movie.